Basically, I'm going to show you some information. I think this will be pretty straightforward for you, and if you have any questions, this is the time. So, basically, a lot of times people will have anterior or front shoulder pain. When they say shoulder pain, it's usually shoulder pain that they're talking about up here, right?
Mm-hmm.
In your case, you're saying shoulder blade pain or shoulder pain, which can influence the shoulder significantly, and I've seen a lot of shoulder blade pain cause shoulder pain. And I think that you're right. If you don't fix this in the future, you're going to end up having probably two different injuries. You're going to have a neck injury and a shoulder injury.
Mm-hmm.
I almost never see a shoulder injury without a neck injury or vice versa. And it makes sense, right? Let's just come up with something very basic. If I said, hey, lift this coffee pot up and put it over to here, you'd be like, okay, boom. But now if the neck is injured or the shoulder is injured, let's just say the shoulder is injured first. So the true shoulder is injured. You're going to start using your neck to place that up there. And then you're going to end up having a neck injury. If the neck is injured on the first hand, you have more neural sensitivity there because there's more nerves there. However, you're going to start using the shoulder more to do the movement. You're not going to use the upper trap as much. So that's what's happening to you. You're actually having some of that happen. So what's happening is your body's trying to say, hey, this freaking hurts or this area hurts. Don't use this because also, by the way, these muscles have to work together, as you can tell with all the muscles around, to stabilize this area. And if this is irritated area, you can't stabilize this part, if that makes sense, because this part is injured, right?
Yep.
So in your case, what I did is, generally speaking, is I just influenced your neck in so many different positions. And what I think is happening is that you're getting a little pinching of the dorsal scapular nerve, which is a nerve that branches off to C5, typically, of that nerve.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a nerve that goes down pretty much the shoulder blade, right where I was pointing to when I was like, hey, is it this? Why did you feel it maybe towards the lat? I don't know. Maybe you're pinching a little bit.
Maybe I just don't really know the muscle groups too well.
No, you couldn't be pinching some of the nerve that comes, I thought it was going to be part of the long thoracic nerve or something like that, or the thoracodorsal nerve, but it could be part of that. I don't know, but it could be part of the irritation there.
Mm-hmm.
Every time I do forward flexion, you feel it. Every time you bend, you're like, ooh, I feel it. Every time you went back, you felt better.
That's why sitting can get really tough sometimes too.
And that's why also I think, but also
bit.
remember when I had lateral flexion towards the side and rotation towards the side, that also injured it a little bit. When I went a little way, it kind of didn't feel so bad, but it still hurt. I think it just hurts because it's sensitive in general right now. It's a little irritated, a lot of it irritated probably. And this is and that's why as soon as I stuck your head into the back of my neck and I said, hey, push up and then do that, you're like, that's better, because you used your muscles to stabilize that. So basically, I think you injured a little bit of the neck, and you compressed a little bit of the spine of the neck, and you're pinching a little bit of the nerve through the neck. If we look forward, here's the the dorsal scapular nerve, and you injured it nearby that area, and you're getting the radiation of the symptom down into that area. And I'm going to show you a few things that you can do to help that. We're going to work a lot of the muscles out, the tendons, the ligaments, and all that other stuff out there, because it's pretty easy to fix this. It's just sometimes annoying because you sleep, you eat, you do exercise. Overhead lifting, in my opinion, is just not going to be the best thing for you. So if I told you again, should I do this, I said, why don't you just take off of overhead lifting this week? I'm not a big fan of overhead lifting just personally, but I still lift overhead. I just don't do a lot of it, and I don't do a lot of it heavy, just because I also have neck issues. So I just don't want to deal with that. So I do bench. I'll do all these other things, but I glue my head to the ground, and that stabilizes it. And so you can do that too.
I think the only thing I do overhead is a front delt,
Do you ever do a I can't speak today, but landmine press?
I have.
Yeah, so I think
from
yeah, I'll do landmine presses and I'll just go up to this direction, Or what I'll do is I'll do like a split stand overhead stuff, so I don't have to go here. I can go here.
Yeah.
Like I'll go like this, and then I'll come out of that. That's just my personal.
Yeah.
That's just personally. Like you don't have to do that or not do this. It's just kind of up to you. But a lot of times with this type of irritation, a lot of people will have the irritation of the rhomboid and some of the levator and all these muscles that kind of run down that direction. So if we kind of look at that and we fade it, you can see the nerve right under it.
Yeah.
So I did test you on a couple other things. One of the things I tested you is what we call a nerve tension test, aka I was pulling down on both sides doing this one.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes people have some irritation into the forearm. In that case, yours isn't severe enough that when I pulled down from the neck and the arm and it went down, it maybe felt a little irritation, but not much. And some people where it's very serious, I can't even go to like here without it. Sometimes I'll go here, and then as soon as I go back, they're like,
Yeah.
you're good enough. So that's why I said I think it's a mild irritation. I think this shouldn't be difficult to fix up. But I can also see why after long compression or laying on your side that you stay there and it gets irritated, and that pisses it off for the next day, and you feel a little weakness.
Yeah.
So it's enough where it's like, hey, it goes down to the arm. It's not enough where it's constantly symptomatic. We just gotta stop it in its tracks from becoming worse. So like, if we could just stop the forward snowball from moving to get worse, then I think you're in better shape. I think at the same time we can start fixing it up too.
Oh.
Does that make sense on what's going on there?
Yeah. And definitely that nerve feels like right where it's at, down there.
The good news is it's not a shoulder injury.
Yeah.
So you got
I just
one.
have bad shoulders, so I always put everything onto that. I'm like, oh.